Hello, my name's John King and welcome to Business Time. In today's program, we are going to take a look at the economic situation in a number of different countries worldwide. Firstly, we are covering Ireland, which is now a bright spot in the Eurozone's economy. Next, Asia. A total of 21 Asian countries have just signed a Memorandum of Understanding in Beijing in an effort to speed up the establishment of the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. Then we look at Italy's largest trade union protest. And finally, Chinese home prices are falling for a fifth straight month this year. We start today's edition of Business Time with some good news. Ireland's economic recovery is becoming a bright spot in the Eurozone. Factory orders and staffing levels are at a 13-month low in the Eurozone as a whole, and manufacturing activity in the UK slowed markedly in August. Irish industry, meanwhile, expanded at its fastest rate since 1999. Irish industry has bucked the trend. Manufacturing there grew at its fastest pace since 1999, according to the Investec PMI index. A surge in new orders helped boost the reading for August of this year.
Surge. A strong rush or sweep said an increase. Recovery. The act or process of recovering, especially from sickness, a shock, or a setback. Fill in the gaps with the missing words. The first letter is given. The economy looks so good that Ireland announced a round of tax for 2015. It will be this country's first non-budget in years. While the prospects for economic growth are growing dimmer across Europe, Ireland has become a poster child for recovery. A surge in Irish real estate prices has boosted business confidence and consumer demand. The economy looks so good that Ireland announced a round of tax cuts for 2015. It will be the country's first non-austerity budget in 7 years. Economists here are confident that the economy is moving in the right direction.
This country, I think, will grow at between 4 and 5%. This country is the interesting thing about Ireland. It's almost like Hong Kong in the Chinese context. It has the ability to grow much quicker and in a much more dynamic way than most countries around us. And the reason is very simple, is that we're very small.
Meanwhile, the EU economic powerhouse Germany has slashed its growth forecasts for the next 2 years. McWilliams believes the slowdown in Germany will help turbocharge the Irish economy even more.
Well, the most important thing is that it means that European interest rates, not just Irish interest rates, but European interest rates are going to be low for a long, long time, because Germany is now going into a downturn.
Fill in the gaps with the missing words. The first letter is given. The economy looks so good that Ireland announced a round of tax for 2015. It will be this country's first non-budget in years. The answer? The economy looks so good that Ireland announced a round of tax cuts for 2015. It will be this country's first non-austerity budget in 7 years.
Asian countries have signed MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding, to speed up the establishment of the Infrastructure Investment Bank. Set to be headquartered in Beijing, the AIIB will be a multilateral financial institution focused on infrastructure development in Asia. After signing the MOU, the signatories will participate in the negotiations for AIIB's Articles of Agreement, AOA. Countries that subsequently sign and ratify the Articles of Agreement will officially become founding members of the AIIB. The Articles of Agreement negotiations are expected to be completed by the end of 2015.
Signatory. Person who has signed a document, such as a treaty or contract, or an organisation, state, etc., on whose behalf such a document has been signed. Negotiation. A discussion set up or intended to produce a settlement or agreement. Watch the following news story and decide whether these sentences are true or false. Are these sentences true or false? 1. Singapore will be the biggest shareholder of the bank, according to the memo. 2. 21 Asian countries signed a memorandum of understanding in Beijing to speed up the establishment of the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. A total of 21 Asian countries on Friday signed a memorandum of understanding in Beijing in an effort to speed up the establishment of the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, AIIB. The memo of establishment specified AIIB's objectives, key businesses, the scale of capital, and its membership structure. According to the memo, the registered capital of AIIB is $100 billion, while its subscribed capital must be no less than $50 billion. China will be the biggest shareholder of the bank, according to the memo. China has held a number of bilateral and multilateral talks with neighbouring countries in the initiation of the AIIB. Countries involved have reached a consensus and worked out a plan to put AIIB in operation by the end of 2015. China proposed the establishment of the bank. As a matter of fact, China's purpose in initiating the bank is to intensify the investment and raise the funds for the infrastructure sector. We are willing to do two things. One is to cooperate and coordinate with multilateral organizations on this mission, and the other is to create more new business modes, for example, the PPP, public-private partnership mode, to encourage private investors' participation in the sector. This will not only benefit the current economic recovery, but also permanently improve the conditions for economic growth in the future. Are these sentences true or false? 1. Singapore will be the biggest shareholder of the bank, according to the memo. 2. 21 Asian countries signed a memorandum of understanding, Beijing, to speed up the establishment of the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. The answer? 1. Singapore will be the biggest shareholder of the bank, according to the memo. False. 2. 21 Asian countries signed a memorandum of understanding in Beijing to speed up the establishment of the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. True.
And now we return to Europe. Some 1 million Italians took to the streets of Rome on Saturday for a demonstration organised by Italy's largest trade union to protest Prime Minister Matteo Renzi's plans to overhaul the labour market. As hundreds of thousands of Italians snaked through the capital, calling for Renzi to do more to boost employment and protect the rights of new entries to the job market, organisers put the number of protesters at 1 million and called on the Premier to take note.
Rally. A large gathering of people for a common purpose, especially for some political cause. To overhaul. To make repairs or adjustments. A car, machine, etc. Multiple choice test. Answer the following question. How many protesters took to the streets of Rome on October 25th? A. 400,000. B. 500,000. C. 1 million. Protesters from across Italy took to the streets of Rome on October the 25th for a vast rally against Prime Minister Matteo Renzi's plans to overhaul the job market. Hundreds of thousands of protesters marched in the capital to urge Renzi to do more to boost employment and protect the rights of new hires to the job market. The Italian General Confederation of Labour, CGIL, Italy's biggest union and the organiser of the rally, said there are 1 million protesters and called on the Prime Minister to take note. Thousands of young people waved the red flags of the sigil, singing the national anthem while marching to oppose the recently passed so-called Jobs Act reforms, which the Prime Minister's government has made a cornerstone of its policies. The standoff between Labour unions and Renzi's party coalition has also been fueled by wider discontent about the government's austerity policies, including heavy public spending cuts. In general, all of the government's policies go against Labour's rights and interests. Italy has struggled with an economic recession for a third year running, and unemployment nationwide stands at more than 12%, a record high over the past 4 decades. Multiple choice test. Answer the following question. How many protesters took to the streets of Rome on October 25th? A. 400,000. B. 500,000. C. 1 million. The answer? The correct answer is C. The Italian General Confederation of Labour, CGIL, Italy's biggest union and the organiser of the rally, said there are 1 million protesters and called on the Prime Minister to take note.
Now for our money trivia question of the day. What is the first and oldest form of money in the world? A. Soap. B. Gold ingots. C. Cattle. Send your answers to business.time@english-club.tv. And remember, there are prizes for those who email in the correct answer. Chinese home prices fell for a 5th straight month in September this year, wiping out gains scored in the past year and raising expectations the government will have to implement more economic support measures to cushion the blow. The monthly fall left average home prices in 70 major Chinese cities down 1.3% in September from a year earlier, the first such drop since November 2012.
Slump. A sudden or marked decline or failure, as in progress or achievement. Collapse. To cushion the blow. To make a difficult experience less unpleasant. House prices in almost all of 70 major Chinese cities dipped slightly in September, according to the data released by the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, on Friday. According to the NBS, the price for newly built homes in 69 out of 70 major Chinese cities experienced a slight drop in September, while prices in one city remained the same compared with last month. Prices of second-hand homes in all the 70 cities fell by between 0.5 and 2% in September from a year earlier, according to the NBS. Senior NBS statistician Li Jianwei said the property prices in the 70 major cities remained in a year-on-year slump in September. However, the prices fell at a slower pace than 1 year earlier.
Although the Eurozone is experiencing some turbulent times right now, there's one place on the map, Ireland, which shows signs of economic recovery. We also witness the establishment of Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, which is expected to draw investment for economic growth in the future. Well, hopefully, despite some difficulties and frictions, the world economy is reviving. Let's see what the future holds in store. You can re-watch this or any other of the programs you see on English Club TV by going to the ECTV website. If you have any questions regarding today's program or other business-related topics, you can contact me at the address shown below. I'm John King, and this has been Business Time. Bye for now.